Game Farm fans. Say hi to the ducks and the one weird rooster. That's not why we're here. But on a day like today where it's freezing cold and the puddles are frozen, I'm sure glad I don't have 1,000 chickens to deal with. We only have enough for our own needs to have some eggs for breakfast. Why are we really here? So it's frozen. Harvest is done. Manure is spread. And the ground is frozen. So what are we gonna do? Well, let's go plowing. Yeehaw. Well, we're burning fuel, turning wheels, and ripping up shrubbery roots. Enjoying the frozen ground. It's not coming up too big and chunky. This first pass or two might be a little ugly to get started. And I don't know if you can see the shrubbery roots, but we'll get to take a closer look. I gotta watch my tree down here. I picked out this big tree, and that's how we're making our first straight line. Woo. Okay, well, I'm not quite coordinated enough to hold the camera and lift this out of the ground so well. But we'll lift the front. Hopefully this gives me enough room to work. We'll go forward only a hair or two. Pretend like that levels it out, or evens up our end. And then we'll lift it up. Oh boy. We're making something happen. Unfortunately, I did not get on video tripping two bottoms, and if you think it looks a little ugly, that second bottom, I got a little too involved with the tree I was using to help me untrip the bottom, because you know, rust, the plow's been sitting unused for 20 years. So before you go doing a custom plowing job, don't use a 20-year-old plow, or one that's been sitting for 20 years, because, well, this plow's been used, and I learned how to plow last spring, and this thing is testing my patience, but we're getting the soil up and somewhat rolled. I would say that's the least of its problems, based on the number of shrubbery roots we're turning up. This is even more than, you see that right there? It's even more shrubbery roots out here than what we did last spring. And I thought that was a rough hayfield. So, we're out here playing gigantic worm and mole and tearing it up, that's for sure. How'd you like those action shots? We're moving. I kicked it up to third gear from second. Now I'm getting a little better feel for it. I don't know if I want to go much faster. We're getting the most out of all the ponies and all the rubber. I mean, we're not running out of ponies, but I'm glad I got enough tractor to bully this plow around. Now someone's gonna say that's a 6-plow tractor, and I'm sure in your nice black ground or sandy ground, when it's dry in April, because you guys miss the rain that we always get, that yes, I could pull 6 bottoms. But I'm breaking up some nasty, who knows what scrubland that, well, should explain to you guys why there's not many small farms around me. And Bandit will go on about this, that all the small equipment left in the 80s. It got hard and everyone's like, yeah, it's not worth it to fiddle with all this and deal with the mud. So they just up and called it a day while the getting out was getting out. Now, once you get north of Dayton around here, I'm in southern Ohio, that ground starts getting deeper, blacker, more easy to work with, drains better. And I know, I mean, I mine all my older equipment mostly out of that region because there's, you know, guys hung on through the 80s. They could make it. It wasn't an absolute bear to farm. It was at least enjoyable while they lost money, you know? So yeah, that's my little rant about only pulling 4 bottoms, you know, with a 120 drawbar horse tractor. Oh boy, let's see if I can do this with enough hands. I can. I forgot to adjust the tail wheel down. Like, I lifted all the way up to come out at the end of the field, and usually as I'm going across the headland, I will drop it so that back furrow isn't so high, so that way I can drop the 3-point down there to 8, and then transition to the hydraulic lever real smoothly, and it'll go in fairly even for what it is on this plow job. And I did not do that, so that took a hot second to get in the ground down there. Ooh. This is the little damper side of the field. Frost has not been a problem. Like, there's plenty, but we're not turning over big chunks. In my test run yesterday, we were turning over some slabs because the top was frozen like a rock, which is fine. But this just kind of shows you, you know, we've been frozen and haven't broken freezing, like getting down into the single digits at night for like solid 4, maybe 5 nights now. Yeah, I mean, the grass, we don't have much snow. The grass insulates a little bit. Oh boy, I'm gonna need all hands, so we're just gonna cut out on this, I think. Unless I can do it. Lift the plow, lift the plow. Okay, now I am stuck in this corner, so we gotta back up. Reverse, reverse. Now, backing up a plow, this is why I didn't film, because it's almost as bad as trying to back up like a hay wagon or something. In order to get out of this corner and not go full bushwhack through the shrubbery that was left there. See, they had a forestry mulcher come in, and I don't know why they left this stupid little lobe here. So let's adjust, push that lever down some, swing the camera around, give everybody a headache, set the back of the plow down a little bit. Yeah, it's just out of the ground, so that way when I drop it up here, it's better and quicker. I don't have anybody to hold the camera for me, so I get to look at my ugly mug for a second. Nobody to get a full outside view. And I don't know about setting up the camera right now. We'll see what I can do. Okay, turning in, front wheels on, diff lock, 3-point down, lever. Okay, the biggest thing is not overshooting my stop on the 3-point. Well, this is exciting, fun plowing and getting whiplash while I swing you around from the front view to the back view. At least you're not on my head, so I try to do it smoother. I really spend most of my time watching out the back because we can see the front wheel and the furrow just fine. I mean, it's not leaving the furrow, let's put it that way. We're in, diff is locked, four-wheel drive's on, and we're clawing and yanking. But I mostly watch to try to catch the plow in case it trips before it trips all the way back, because then it's a real bear, thanks to rust and age. I fought and fought and fought. And I was using a tree to help me, and that's how I broke that landslide, whatever they call that. I'm not up to date on the plow parts very well. I'm 30 and I only just started plowing this last year, so I went that many years of my life without plowing. Ground. Well, I lied. I did do some plowing in college when I studied abroad. They had an agriculture club, and they had a little shindig sometime early February. It's funny, they were plowing and having record rainfall, but you know, they could still plow in February. Yes, the joys of British soil. So much, let's say, lighter than this clay. That I did get to take a pass. Everybody, you know, got to try to qualify, and apparently they didn't think I was going to qualify, but they let me have a pass for fun. It's a 4-bottom rollover. I think it was a John Deere 6430 tractor. I can't remember. But, yeah, I remember that dirt. It seemed like, yeah, we were plowing, and if it, you know, wasn't so wet, it was falling apart much nicer than this. This looks like a mess compared to their plowing. So this is the outside view, in motion, not in motion because I don't have anybody to be camera. I'm my own cameraman, but I'm not my own grandpa. If anybody's heard that fun comedy song, that's a lot of math to me. Well, I'm sure we can't see much in the darkness. It looks a lot better in real life. We're on our way home. That plowing job is done. Let's enjoy the dash lights. Those look a lot better in real life. They almost look like a 66 series dash. The replacement LEDs are a wee bit blue. And it kind of gives it a green tinge almost, like a 66 series International. Well, plowing is done. I don't feel like moldboarding anymore. Man, that was slow. Holy cow, it took me 2 days to get that 10 acres done. In between fighting, you know, tripping and resetting the plow. Woohoo! We finished plowing yesterday and we have some daylight now. And it snowed, so I was definitely glad to get that done, just in case sometimes snow can take the frost out of the ground. And on that sod, you know, the grass was insulating the ground underneath, and the ground underneath being 56 degrees way down below, you know, the heat would come up and invariably it could melt from both directions or melt from the bottom up. Not that there was much frozen, just enough to get traction. Just showing off some of my fun fixes. I didn't show off ever having one of these trip, and by the end I finally got good. I tripped that one first, and then I re-tripped it, tripped that one, tripped the back one, and tripped this middle one. And this middle one is the most entertaining to see my fix. Now, there was a lot of mud there. That's a roofing, or a pole barn spike, not roofing spike, that's a pole barn spike. And a screwdriver to hold, like, the locking pin. So, in there, the shank on the plow coming down, like up at the top, there is, it's kind of, you know, it's shaped rectangular. But on the front, there's a little spot for a pin to rest against, and then there's a like my drawing in the snow, there's this little lever that comes down and there's a pin that goes right there. It isn't to scale necessarily or super proper shaping, like it's close but it's not accurate. And this lever has a spring, a flat spring, that pushes it down to hold this pin in place, which is that pin right there. And that there's a triangular hole. It's all frozen mud now, so this pin can move, but theoretically it's locked in place by this lever that's bolted on, or no, that's bolted, pinned in right there, and then there's a flat spring over top. And it's supposed to, you're supposed to be able to back up and it all resets. Well, everything's so rusty. I was sitting for 20 years. It didn't. So I got smart and took a chain in case I needed it, but the first time I was able to find a tree. The second time I tried to use the same tree, and that's how we ended up with. Yeah, you can see I had we got those welds there because I tripped that one, I think. And as I was trying to back into a tree because my original stump broke, I wedged this in a little a sapling that big around. And you can see that's a little sharp out there at the end, so I was able to slice into the wood. And I saw it got stuck, and I tried to move. And well, tillage parts and wood do not get along because the wood just grabs and holds, and this is some hardened, kind of brittle metal that it broke it. Yep. Weak spot right there where the bolt is, broke it. And I kept plowing, and with enough speed it rolled it well enough. You can't see it. There's a little chunk of steel we added in there behind the mud, and there's, based on these welds down here, we put another little piece at the bottom for support. So yeah, it was more eventful than I let on, and I didn't feel like filming because I was too annoyed when things were going all wrong. But we made it. It's done. And I'm ready to do chisel plowing, and I am glad I don't do a whole lot of moldboarding because moldboarding is slow. Yes, it was only 4 bottoms. It still wasn't fast even. Like, we need like 3 tractors going to feel like we're getting anywhere. I can chisel plow like at least 3 times as fast because I can. 10 acres took me, well, it wasn't full days, but still, it was almost 2 full days to do. Where chisel plowing, I can chisel plow 3-4 acres an hour or more. Yeah, slow. Lots of driving in the headlands kills a lot of time. Well, this has been a fun farming adventure, and I'll catch you guys later with more action.